Well, I think I finally broke it. I can't lift the arms. Okay, check it out. Forward, backward, tilt. I can't tilt to the left. I go down. I can't come up. So I'm gonna have to limp the machine out of here and I guess leave the mulcher in this dude's backyard. So I had the V1000 on beast mode over here, but it won't pick up the mulcher. Doesn't have enough power. Something went wrong. So I gotta dig into it and figure out what it is. But that's frustrating. I won't be able to finish this job. So this was a lot less excitement than I anticipated it to be today. I must apologize for that, but we do have a machine failure. And we're sitting at, I think, 9.7 hours on it. Let me start it. 9.5 hours on it, so it's about time to do some maintenance. Yeah, a little disappointed. So I'm gonna have to come out here and finish up this yard later. Like and subscribe if you want to see more on the saga of the old V1000. Well, it was bound to happen. As much as I abuse my machines and I use them, something was bound to break. And it did. I broke my V1000. So I was running my mulcher, and I was mulching a neighbor's backyard, just giving him a hand, clearing out some debris. So all of a sudden, I couldn't lift the arms anymore, and it wasn't mulching. And I was like, what in the world's going on? So I messed with it for a little bit. Sent Dean with Derette a message, and I said, hey man, my machine's not working right. And he wanted a video, so I sent him a video of what it was doing. And he got with his tech guys, and his tech guys said that my auxiliary hydraulic pump has failed. So he said, Greg, don't worry. I'll take care of it. I'll send you a new pump. It's easy to put in. It's held on by 2 bolts. It's right down in the front. So tonight, I'm going to figure out how to put an auxiliary hydraulic pump in. Let me show you what it looks like. He also sent me a cap to cover this hole on the front of the machine. But this little thing here is causing me some headache. This is my new one that I have never installed anything like this before, so we're going to figure it out. This says concentric WP09 Alpha 1 Bravo 191141. Then it says 25 Bravo 27043. So I don't know what all that means, but I'm going to figure it out. So on the front of the machine, if you open the hood and get down inside here, I've got my little flashlight. You can see it right there. It's right at the bottom. That's the auxiliary pump that I have to change out. But it's underneath all this stuff. So I'm going to pull this cover off and I'm going to get in there. And Brandon Stiles made a video where he pulled this front cover off and he couldn't get it back on because the frame had moved. So I'm going to find out myself how my machine works and if I can just take it off and put it back on. These bolts are 10 millimeter. Let's do this the right way. There we go. 4 10 millimeters across the bottom. There's 2 10 millimeters there. There's 2 10 millimeters there. And I think he's right. The holes don't quite line up perfectly. And then over here, we've got these 10 millimeters right here. I'm going to pull those off. On the underside, there's an 8 millimeter. So you want an 8 on the bottom, and you want a 10 on the top. There's a big old chunk of debris in there. When you pull the side cover off, you can get right down to that auxiliary pump. It's right there. I got the bolts out with the 16 millimeter that bends at the end. And there's 2 bolts. This one came straight out right here. The other one was a pain. I had to get out from the side. So if you come in this cover here, you can barely squeeze it in, but I was able to get it right there. And then the pump fell off, and it's actually laying at the bottom now, dumping fluid all over. So I've got to get that out and then put the other pump in. Yay! Bolt just fell out. And a piece fell off. So on this pump, this turns and it goes to the same sort of thing on the stack. And I've got to get to that and pull it back out, the piece that connects them. This is the piece that connects them. So one side goes in there on the pump, the other side goes on the stack, and that's what allows it to turn. So here we've got the new and the old pump. This is the new one. You see there's the part number, concentric, and this is actually a name brand pump. I can't remember off the top of my head what the company name is that makes it, but I'll type it in on the video so you can see it. This one with the black cover on it, this is the cheap Chinese pump, the one that failed for me. And apparently they were out of stock on the good ones, and so they put the crappy ones in, and that's what my machine had. So I just need to reattach everything to this one, just like it was on the other pump. This is a 27 millimeter, and I'm afraid I'm going to need an impact to get it off. Yeah, there's no way I'm going to do that. I'm going to get an impact. There's a little washer on there, so don't lose that little washer. This side is a 32. So 27 on one side, 32 on the other. So this is another Amazon score. What I've got is I go from 27 millimeter up to 38 millimeter, and I've had to use these, like on this project. This kit, I will put a link in the description if you want to get one of these for yourself. It wasn't super expensive, and this is super handy to have because you've got all your sockets right here. Now I do have a pretty good socket collection, but it's all over the place and I don't have any big stuff. 24 is as big as I go in my drawer, with a few little impacts in the back, like a 31 for a Honda motorcycle steering stem nut and a few other random ones. So that's very handy. Now back to these. I'm going to take this apart and I'm going to see what's inside this. Again, here's another Amazon score. Got a bunch of Allen keys, and these come in really handy. What do we think that is, 8? Yep, it's an 8. So this kit's got from 2 millimeter all the way up to 19 millimeter, and then standard from 5/64 all the way up to 3/4. So it pretty much covers everything you could need for Allen key sockets. There's nothing very exciting in here. Looks like it's pressed and it's all internal. Kind of see the gears inside there. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I don't know. I don't see anything crazy. I do not see anything crazy at all. So when we get this one put on, gonna need to take this little piece and put it on there and make sure this lines up with the one on the machine. Gonna have to make sure this is all clean too. See down in there? That's where the pump goes, right on the end of that stack. Lots of bolt holes there, but we only need 2. And you can see down inside there all the wood chips. That's because my cover didn't have a little plug in that hole running the mulcher and the Harley rake, and it got a lot of debris inside the machine. I've cleaned some of it out, but it really got a mess down in there. Third time's charm. Brandon Stiles did a video about how this wouldn't fit back on. I bet mine's the same, because our machines were made about the same time. So yep, the bottom ones are good. These ones are pretty close, but the top ones, these are off. Yeah, that's not going to fit right there. It's a little frustrating. So when I pulled the bolts out, here's the bolts. This is what they should look like, right? Just a normal bolt. But 3 of them stripped on the way out. That's how much tension it's under. Let me show you beside a good one. See this? That's a good one. This one has no threads left. 3 of them have no threads. You know what? I can run a bigger washer on these, drill the holes out bigger on the cover, and that would work. I'm gonna use a unibit. I'm gonna drill those holes out bigger, maybe put a bigger bolt in. That's the plan. That'll work. I'm gonna say that's a win. Okay, done. I made this project much more difficult than it needed to be. This actually should have been pretty quick and easy. It was 2 bolts, literally 2 bolts, 2 hydraulic lines, and that's all I had to do. I put a lot more thought into it than I needed to, and I was trying to take the diesel tank out. To do that, I have to take the hydraulic tank out, and I thought I need full access to the front of the pump, but I didn't. All I needed to do was get to those 2 bolts. The bolts don't have to come all the way out. The pump will come out without the bolts all the way out. So, learn some valuable lessons here. Austin Nelson from North Carolina, he has a company, Nelco Construction and Land Improvement. He had posted up on one of the Facebook groups that his auxiliary pump had gone out, and he had already changed it. So I dug into this, and I was like, whoa. This looks like it could be complicated. I need tricks. So I reached out to him. He messaged me back, gave me his phone number. We got on the phone, and he walked me through what to do to fix this thing. He's the one that told me to get the wrench that bends at the end. So I got these, aftermarket gear wrenches. I got a whole set, by the way. I got this on Amazon. From a 6 millimeter up to an 18 millimeter, and from a 1/4 inch drive all the way up to a 3/4 inch drive. So this thing's pretty handy to have. I'm gonna use that again in the future in other projects. But he told me that that's the trick, and there's just 2 bolts to get this auxiliary pump out, and the bolts don't need to come out all the way. So that was super helpful. Thank you, Austin. You saved me a ton of time and effort, because I was getting ready to pull the diesel tank. To do that, I got to pull the hydraulic tank. To do that, I've got to drain it. I've got to unhook all the hoses. I was about to get into a big project unnecessarily. So I've got this done, and I appreciate your help on that. Man, this community is really great that we have people that are willing to reach out and spend some of their time helping each other. You know, I like to do it, and there's so many other guys that do. So thank you all for those of you that help other people with these, because we don't have service manuals. We don't have instruction manuals. We don't have dealership brochures for these machines. So it's awesome when we can all help each other out and reach out and take care of each other. Thanks again. Because running the mulcher, or if the Harley rake's pointed the wrong direction, don't do it like that. So Dean sent me this plug to cover up this hole. And this is very important if you're going to run a mulcher or even the Harley rake pointed the wrong direction. This will stop all the debris from filling your engine compartment. I wish I had had that earlier. That is a necessity. as usual, hopefully this was helpful for you. Some of you that might have to do this, hopefully that this video is useful. So from what it sounds like, my machine was made the beginning of December 2024. And they had run out of the name brand pumps, so they used a domestic Chinese one. I checked with another guy whose machine was built in January, and his has the expensive pump on it, the good one. So I think it's just people whose machines were built around December of 2024. I'm not positive on that, but I think that's just some of those had this pump. And this auxiliary pump works just fine, unless you're running a really high flow beaten attachment like the mulcher. So anyway, if you like this sort of stuff, like and subscribe. Lots more to come. Got more machine videos, got more project videos, and got more cool toy videos. I've got a lot of cool toys I'm going to make videos on because I like them and they're cool. And these companies send them to me for me to try out and see if they're any good. Most of them have been good so far. Not all of them. They all have their little things, as anything in the world is not perfect. But stick around. Thanks again. Enjoy your time in the shop or the trees or wherever you happen to be. And we'll see you on the next one.